Today we are going to talk about healing. How do you heal and move on in your life? How do you heal enough to take the next step in your personal life, in your professional life, in your social circles, in every aspect of your life? How do you heal and move on? I know that when I say healing, people usually associate it with heartbreaks and relationships. That's one dimension of it. There are people who are struggling to heal from the wounds caused by their friends. There are people who are struggling to heal from the wounds caused by their former bosses. There are people who are struggling to heal because they have not fully recovered from the disappointments that they faced when they tried sharing their ideas with someone. So when we talk about healing, we are talking about it in a multi-dimensional way, in so many aspects of your life. How do you heal after a heartbreak? How do you heal after something that disappoints you? How do you heal after your friends let you down? We need to come up with ways, and we need to have the conversation on how do you heal. Because the problem is we have so many people who are unhealed, who are just moving about in life, hurting other people, causing more harm, causing more pain. Because if you are unhealed, you will just radiate and spread that hurt to people that didn't even hurt you in the first place. So in today's video, we are going to talk about healing. What are the 4 things that you should think about? What are the 4 things that are fundamental to start your journey for healing? Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Petronella Mnenja. I'm an author, I'm a consultant, I'm a speaker. My book, From Gokwe to Oxford, The Girl Who Dared to Dream, is available on Amazon. Please do get a copy. And in today's video, I want to talk about healing. And this applies to a lot of things. This applies to your relationships, your friendships, your job, your professional life, your social life, every aspect of your life. As long as we interact with people, as long as we live with people in this world, we are going to get hurt. And I think being hurt punctuates every stage of our lives. We are hurt by our partners, we are hurt by our siblings, by our friends, by our bosses. The world is filled with things that can literally hurt us any day and any minute. And I think if we're going to become healed people, we need to have tools at our disposal to help us heal. And I'm going to talk about 4 of those things in this video today. This is by no means exhaustive, but it's a starting point for you to sort of get your foot, to dip it a little bit into that path of healing. And hopefully as you grow, as you heal, as you learn more about yourself, you heal a little bit more. The first thing is, you do not need an apology. Okay, you don't need an apology. You want it. You don't need the person who hurt you to tell you how they hurt you. You don't need the person who broke you to tell you how they broke you. You don't need a person who took you for granted to tell you how they took you for granted. You don't need a person who disrespected you to tell you how they disrespected you. You don't need a person who talked down on you, who literally made you feel like you were not worth anything, to remind you just exactly how they did it. The problem in life is we spend so much of our time, we spend so much of our energy trying to convince people to apologize to us, trying to get people to come back and tell us. It's not a need, it's a want. A part of you wants that. A part of you needs that because it's you needing their constant validation. And usually we hide this need for acknowledgement, this need for support, this need for validation. We hide it behind closure. Oh, I need closure to be moved, to be able to move on. Oh, I need closure to be able to work through this. You don't need it. Closure is the most overrated thing on earth. You don't need closure. You don't need a person who hurt you to tell you how they hurt you, because you know exactly how they hurt you. So the first step is learning to forgive without getting an apology. When people tell you about forgiveness, they miss the most important part. When you're forgiving someone, you're not doing it for them. You're not forgiving a person because of who they are. You are forgiving them for who you are. You are forgiving them for yourself. Because if you don't forgive someone, you give them power over you. Because each time you see them, if each time you hear them laugh, you be like, he's laughing, but he hurt me. Each time you see her smile, you be like, oh, she's smiling, but she hurt me. So when you hold on to the things that someone has done and you're waiting for them to validate your emotions and to give you closure, you will be stuck and you will constantly feel less and less of yourself. So the first step to healing is realizing that you don't need an apology. You want it. You know exactly what that person did to you. You know exactly how they disrespected you. You know exactly what happened, and you don't need them to come and tell you. You want it because a part of you still wants their validation. A part of you still wants their attention. So you will take it in whatever little scrambles, in whatever little chunks that you can get it. And that doesn't do anything for you. It just recycles the pain. It just recycles the hurt. That is why we keep going back to people that don't appreciate us. That is why we keep going back to jobs that don't serve us. That is why we keep going back to relationships that do nothing for us. It's because we need that constant validation. We need that person to apologize. We need closure. We don't need it. We want it. So the first thing is forgive without getting an apology, because you were doing it for yourself. Okay? And the second thing is own up, or believe that cliche where it's not you, it's them. Let me break that down for you. When I say own up, I mean that sometimes we are hurt by the decisions that we have made for ourselves. So sometimes we will hurt the person that loves us, and then we try getting back to them, or we try fixing things, and we realize that that door is closed. We can't do it anymore. Or sometimes we walk away from jobs that we really like, and then we realize that we made a mistake. We try going back. We can't go back. That opportunity has been closed. Or sometimes we will treat our siblings bad. So the first part of that equation where you are owning up is you are acknowledging the role that you have played in the mess. So acceptance is very important. If you're able to look back and you're like, okay, this was a good relationship. I loved this person. I liked this person. I wanted this to work with them, but I messed it up. I tried fixing it. I couldn't fix it. What do? Move on with your life. So acknowledge the role that you played in the hurt if you were the one who caused the pain. Sometimes we are hurt by our own decisions, and the manifestation of that is called regret. We have done something that is so terrible, and we know that we did it, and we just cannot forgive ourselves, and we live in this constant pool of pain and depression and anger. So if you want to heal and move on from that, acknowledge the role that you played, and you own up, and you start the process of healing. Okay, and the second part of it is believe that cliche. It's not you, it's them. It's again you stopping to bash yourself over the mistake that the next person did. So it's not your fault that this person hurt you. It's not your fault that this person disrespected you. It's not your fault that this person spoke down on you. It's not your fault that this person didn't see your value, didn't see your worth, didn't see what you can give. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. So if you're not in the first category that we have talked about that needs to own up, you are in this category that needs to stop bashing yourself and believe the cliche. Believe that this person did all these horrible things to you because they're a bad person. Believe that this person did all these nasty things to you because they have issues in and of themselves. Believe that this person actually hurt you because they intended to hurt you. Okay, so believe it, and believe that you are actually a good person who is doing your best, and you stop judging yourself. You stop bashing yourself, and you stop feeling like you deserve the pain. Sometimes we judge ourselves too harshly, and we look at ourselves in the mirror and we're like, why did they treat me that way? Did I deserve it? Did I do something wrong? Did I do this? And you just feel worse and worse, and it will just corrode and eat away at your self-esteem. So believe the cliche. It's not you, it's them. And when you do that, you start taking bold steps to moving on. So remember, it's either you own up if you caused the hurt, own up, start forgiving yourself and heal and move on. Or alternatively, if someone caused the hurt on you, remember it's them, not you. Don't beat yourself down over their mistakes. Don't put yourself down because they're a terrible human being. Forgive them for yourself and move on with your life. We move on to number 3. Number 3 is move on slowly and actually give yourself time to heal. And this applies with literally almost everything, okay? Whether you've just lost your job, whether you've just lost a relationship, whether you've just lost a friendship, there is this tendency in human beings where we want emotional validation, we want emotional connection, we want to feel useful, we want to feel valued. And sometimes it's hard for us to just sit with ourselves and feel all those bad emotions that we are feeling. Sometimes it's hard for you to just sit and feel sad. Sometimes it's hard for you to just sit and feel, oh my God, I messed up, I lost that relationship, I lost that job. We can't live with the disappointments of ourselves. It's easier to live with the mistakes of others. So when things happen to us, when a relationship ends, instead of sitting down and being like, what went wrong? What part did I play in the failure of my relationship? What could I have done better? What could I have done differently? Instead of us to sit down and actually have that honest conversation with ourselves, we tend to move on quickly. And what happens is you move on quickly, you bring someone else into the equation, and you end up bleeding on someone that didn't cut you. Because if you don't heal and you meet the next person, you bleed on someone that didn't cut you. You will take out all your frustrations on them. They will make one mistake, one tiny mistake, and the reaction that you have is so huge and so it's so not appropriate to the mistake that was made, because you're not acting out over the mistake that they have made. You are acting out over the unresolved issues that you had in your previous relationship, in your previous friendship or whatever. So you become casually contemptuous and casually judgmental of people because you are bearing these wounds that you never worked through. And you realize that you just keep moving on from person to person to person without actually building anything meaningful, without actually healing, because you know what? You were running away from the fact, which is you need to slow down and heal. Look at yourself, and did you make the mistake? Did you cause the pain? Did someone cause you pain? What happened? Have that conversation with yourself. Start growing, start fixing it, and then gradually move on. I'm not saying be stagnant and just cry and have self-pity. No, I said move on slowly. So take it one step at a time. What are you actually emotionally able to give to this person? What are you able to give to this friendship? What are you able to give to this job? Pace yourself in whatever it is that you decide to do. Pace yourself and take it one step at a time. Okay? And the last one, and this is my absolute favorite, immunize yourself from regret. And I know many people may not agree with me on this one, but I personally believe that there is one way of living a life without regrets. And you live a life without regrets by doing your best and giving your all in your particular moment. In that particular moment. This is a philosophy that I live by. If I'm doing a job, if I'm working on a project, if I'm doing something for you, I am going to give you my best. I show up for people. I do my best. I give you everything that I can give. I do everything. So that when it doesn't work out, when I look back, I don't have regrets. I did the best that I could have done. I gave the best that I could have given. So this thing not working out is not a reflection on me as a person. It's not a reflection of my ability as a person. This thing didn't work out because of other things that are external, that have nothing to do with me. And if because they have nothing to do with me, I can't control them, I can't solve them, I will just do what I can do, and by God's grace, figure it out. So the secret in that is do what you can and give the best that you can give. That way you will have a shorter time of feeling pain and a faster comeback time. Because if you give everything, the reason why most of you live in constant regret, the reason why most of you are uncontented in your relationships, the reason why most of you live lives where you constantly, oh my God, I miss that job, I miss that person, it's because you know that you didn't give it your all. That girl, you know that you didn't give it your all. That girl told you that she wanted your attention. That girl told you that she wanted you to call her. That girl told you that she wanted you to be nice and to affirm her and to remind her that you loved her. And you didn't do it. Now that she has moved on and is now with someone else, you feel the pain, you feel the anger because you know you could have done more. You missed that job because you remember your manager kept telling you, come to work early, meet the deadlines, do this. You could have done better. That project that you didn't get the tender, you could have put more time to it. You could have given more options. You could have done it. You know you could have done it. And because you know that you could have done it, it's a constant reminder of your mistakes. It's a constant reminder of the things that you could have done better. And that is a continuous source of pain in your life because deep down you know that things could have been different had you done things differently. So the best way to avoid that is to immunize yourself from regret by just doing the best that you can, by just giving all that you can. When you are in a particular moment, be present with your family, be present with your partner, be present at your job, wherever you were supposed to show up and be present. Show up and be present to the people that need you, because in the long term, when things go wrong or when something happens, you can look back and actually find healing and find peace and comfort in knowing that you did your best. Okay, that's it from me today, guys. If I can just summarize, the first thing that we talked about is you don't need an apology. You want it. Stop wanting people to tell you what they did to you. You know it. Okay, and the second one is own up. Or believe that cliche, it's not you, it's them. If it's you, forgive yourself. It's them, forgive them and move on with your life. The third one is move on slowly. Take time. If you don't take time, you continuously bleed on people that didn't cut you and you continuously be discontented. And the last one is immunize yourself from regret by doing all that you can and giving all that you can in a particular moment. And you can honestly look back and say, I did all that I could do. I gave all that I could do. Therefore, this feeling has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them or with the world. And I can't change them. I can't change the world. I can only change me. I hope you have learned something. And as always, let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, bye everyone.